Welcome. This is the Prophetic Word of Healing for the year of 2025 with Prophetess Mary Ayodele. Thank you for joining me. A little bit about me. I'm a prophetess in the Eternal Sacred Order of Cherubim and Seraphim Church. My church is based in Benin City in Edo State, Nigeria. I'm also a community herbalist and Africana folk medicine scholar, as well as foundress of the Institute of Africana Cosmology. You can reach me by emailing me at prophetessmaryayodele@gmail.com to be added to my mailing list or for prayer requests. You can also find me in Facebook at the group Prophetic Word of Healing or on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or Patreon at Prophetess Mary Ayodele. You can also listen to my podcast, Facing the Situation, Building Spiritual Resiliency, on Amazon Music and Spotify. If you are inclined to sow a seed into this ministry, you may do so through Cash App or PayPal. If you'd like to sow that seed through Venmo or other means, feel free to reach out to me and we can discuss that. As we begin this exploration of what the year holds, I'd like to remind everyone that we are in a 10-year cycle of change. This began in 2020 and will extend through 2030. We are in the middle of that cycle, and it's still really important to review this so you understand that the year 2025 is part of a longer and bigger conversation about some things that we'll be facing. In order to get through these new and exciting times as well as possible, among other things we want to do is to include rest and reflection into our scheduling, and we want to build in some self respect. So we want to slow it down and pace ourselves and make sure we respect ourselves as well as others. Giving honor to the Most High, who's the head of my life, these points have been revealed for the year of 2025. This year is focused on renewal after facing challenges and restoration after overcoming conflict. Keep in mind, you need to be intentional that one thing comes after the other. So don't get stuck in the renewal and thinking you ain't gonna face no conflict, and don't get stuck in the conflict without expecting the renewal. You got to move through this. It's like riding a bicycle. If you forget the pedal, you ain't going nowhere. So remember, restoration after overcoming conflict, renewal after facing challenges. Don't get stuck in one or the other. This year is very complex. There's going to be a lot of intricate situations going on. You may be blessed to have the Spirit of the Most High work with you so you can see things simply. However, the stuff that come at you this year is going to have layers in it, like a flaky biscuit. That's for my friends in America. Um, for everybody else, think of it as a cake with multiple levels, right? We got to pay attention to our morality in all of our relationships. Don't bring the stapler home from work. Don't purposefully keep the pencil that you signed in at the doctor's office with. Don't steal nothing. If you find something in your hand that don't belong to you, take it back to where you got it from. It is not yours. Be intentional in your actions around relationships. Don't take any relationship that's valuable to you for granted, be it at work, be it at home, or be it with your neighbor. Be intentional about holding yourself to a standard that you follow your moral compass. And for those of you listening who are laughing, if you have really shaky morals, once again, you may want to review some of the other prophetic words of healing that I have put out here earlier, where you need to get in alignment with the deity that you serve, because you got to get your character together. So you can't be giggling and grinning about taking things from people or manipulating people or telling half of the story and not the whole story. All bets are off for that this year. This is a year to be ethical in your dealings with yourself and other people. Because I want you to know, if you're busy manipulating other people and you think you're getting over, you're really manipulating yourself. Wait till you wake up and look in the mirror and realize you've been cheating yourself, okay? You want to be very careful of choosing the bad over the good. And that's really oversimplifying it. But many of us listening to this know what's right to do. and you know what's wrong to do for you. Don't pick the wrong and try to justify it. Don't do it. This is the year it's going to be like a tar baby year. And what I mean by that, if y'all never heard that story, many of you are probably too young to know the story, but anything you touch, you go get stuck to. So you don't want to get caught up in other people's intrigues and dramas and manipulative little schemes. All that stuff is going to be really sticky this year. So keep your eyes on your own paper. Stay in deep prayer and contemplation and self reflection. Work on your character to be the best person you can be with the support of your Creator, not based on your own personal opinions of what's right and wrong. That's cute, but I'm talking about plugging into a higher source of information that can fuel and guide you, even when you know what you want to do is definitely not the right thing to do. That higher power, Philippians 4:13, for those of you who are biblically inclined, that higher power can support you in making decisions that will be right for you, yourself, your family, and for several generations to come. So we'll get into that, because what you do this year can affect your family for generations and generations. You say, well, that's every year. Yeah, it is. However, this year you're under a microscope a little bit more. Okay, in health, you need to seek balance in all things, including your work and private life. That work life balance stuff that people talk about, if you know, leave that work at work, come home and be at home, however you need to work it out. You need some time off. Don't play with yourself around taking time off and overworking and then complaining about it or getting sick. All that stuff that's out of balance in your life will pop up and show up in your life this year. And it's going to be hard to wrestle it. So start writing down, either low tech with pencil and paper or high tech electronically, what you need to do to have some balance. And that may simply mean 8 hours of not moving around, just getting rest. Even if you're not sleeping, get some rest. It may mean turning off the TV if you have one in your bedroom. I don't know what it's going to mean for you, but you better figure it out. We need to avoid using poor judgment and minimize any mood altering substance, especially alcohol. This is not the year to experiment with new alcoholic drinks or, you know, start purchasing and consuming regularly new ways of getting inebriated. This is not the year for alcohol, honey. So put it away, and you need to step away from stress. Again, I tell you, the choices you make this year are going to have really intense effects on your life and the lives of those you love. Financially, you need to be grateful. Even if you get a 1% raise, 25 cents an hour, whatever it is, be grateful for whatever comes your way. If you get a card in the mail and somebody stick $10 in it and you wish it had two more zeros, you better fix your face and give thanks to the Most High for that $10. And then you need to save it. Follow all the laws of the land. You are not the person who's going to make up new laws for yourself this year successfully. Keep your receipts, keep detailed paperwork. If you take your car for an oil change, keep your paperwork. If you read the sign and it said $75, you need to check that receipt and make sure you paid $75. Check all your paperwork. Nobody's out to get you, but you do need to make sure you're taking care of you. Take your glasses, your magnifying glass, whatever you need. If you are in business, check your paperwork. This is for everybody. Get your taxes done on time. Submit your quarterly taxes if you're in business or self employed on time. Get your mileage. Keep your mileage up if you're driving cars and you can deduct that. This is the time to pay attention to details around your finances. Excuse me, if you're in business or not, then you need to organize all this information where you can find it. Not, oh yeah, I have the receipt, but I don't know where it is. That's not working out. So get the receipts organized. If you scan them, create a file for them. Put that file in the cloud. You need to take your time when you're doing paperwork. If you go to renew your driver's license, don't do it in a hurry. If you're going to get new license plates for your car, take your time. Don't try to squeeze it in on lunch break and you hurrying and this is not the year to hurry when it comes to paperwork and details around your life. This involves doctor's visits, medical bills, taxes, household maintenance, car maintenance, even simply buying something for the upkeep of your home and family. Check your receipts, get everything in order, get your paperwork together. Be kind to yourself and other people. If you find the paperwork is wrong, if you expected to pay $75, but you were charged $175, don't start accusing people of things. Take your time, take a deep breath, and then review things carefully and be patient. Build enough time into your life for any paper involving transaction, even going to the dentist. The special projects for this year are to continue to organize family photos and family history. For those of you who are new and haven't, listened to a prophetic word of healing with me before, I'm going to encourage you to listen to last year's 2024 because every year builds on top of the other one. So we're not jumping out with all new ideas this year that had nothing to do with last year. Everything you do today builds on your yesterday. So pay attention to that. So continue to organize family photos and family history. Display photos of you and your loved ones enjoying happy times. So many times people have those photos on their phone where they got to pull out the phone and plug it in and look at it, print some of those pictures out, frame them, and put them on the wall. You need to be able to see those photos of happy times without picking up a phone. When your eyes roam across the walls of your home, you want to have images of the blessings that you have been blessed with. And you want to increase your hospitality. So this is a year where when people come to your house, you want to offer them something to eat or drink. And it can be very simple. Doesn't have to be Thanksgiving dinner, you know. It can be a bowl of fresh fruit that you offer people. You can have of course, people have bottled water nowadays, but you can offer them bottled water. You can offer them pre-packaged um, snacks. I would encourage you to make it low salt and healthy. I don't necessarily mean, things that create health problems in people. So you may have to stretch out, get some sliced apples and have them in a packet to pass out, or something that's close to earth food that isn't overly processed. But the point is increase your hospitality. If people have to come over and hang out for a few minutes before you remember to offer them something to drink, don't do that. Just buy something and put it on your counter that's specifically for guests. So you're not running around wondering what it is they want, blah, blah, blah. If you're already into hospitality, level up, you know. It may not cost a lot, it may just be presentation of it. Make sure and feed anyone who's hungry that's around you. If somebody's around you and say they're hungry, you make sure you get them lunch or get them breakfast or, take care of that dinner for them. This, again, is a continuation of feeding people last year. This year is very important. Again, I recommend you review the prophetic word of the year previous to this one. It tells you how we got here because everything comes from something else, right? So look at that and remember everything builds on what came before it. So if you turn your life around today, start working on your character and start building good character in the things you do, then tomorrow you can stand on that. That's something like the old thing where people say, my word is my bond. That's because in the past they kept their word. Okay? So it works like that in all things, though. You pay your bills on time, you return things after you borrow them, you're good to yourself. You build on what you have before. And don't worry, if what you have before is a little janky wanky, that's okay. You can start fresh today and do something different. The scripture of this year is Psalm 21. Very, very strongly is Psalm 21. And I say strong because the Spirit of the Most High was very clear about that. I would suggest you read it, print it out, put it somewhere where you can find it and make friends with it and have it be a part of your life. Don't let it be something you vaguely remember one day. I would recommend you read it at least once a week. If y'all want to do it every day, won't hurt. Can't do too many Psalms, so that's not bad. So I'm going to read it for you, the New International Version of it. The king rejoices in your strength, Adonai. How great is his joy in the victories you give. You've given him his heart's desire and have not withheld the request of his lips. You came to greet him with rich blessings and placed a crown of pure gold on his head. He asked you for life and you gave it to him, length of days forever and ever. Through the victories you gave, his glory is great. You've bestowed on him splendor and majesty. Surely you've granted him unending blessings and made him glad with the joy of your presence. For the king trusts in Adonai. Through the unfailing love of the Most High, he will not be shaken. Your hand will lay hold on all your enemies. Your right hand will seize your foes. When you appear for battle, you will burn them up as in a blazing furnace. Adonai will swallow them up in his wrath, and his fire will consume them. You will destroy their descendants from the earth, their posterity from mankind. Though they plot evil against you and devise wicked schemes, they cannot succeed. You will make them turn their backs when you aim at them and with drawn bow. Be exalted in your strength, Adonai. We will sing and praise your might. That is the end of Psalm 21. Our flower of the year is the red larkspur. I will be offering more teaching about how that flower can interact with you this year and how you can interact with it. For the purposes of this discussion, know that you can grow it. You can purchase it in silk form or another non-living form and display it in your home. You can display photos or images of it. You can put it as a screensaver. I would encourage you to learn more about this flower. It is bringing us healing medicine by looking at it. What our eyes behold affect the soul. And this is a very important flower for us this year. You may reach out to me for prayers, prayer requests, or any questions about this at prophetessmaryIodele@gmail.com. Again, you can find me on Facebook in the group Prophetic Word of Healing, or on YouTube, Instagram, and Patreon at Prophetess Mary Iodele. Grow in grace, love, and light. Be safe, be intentional, be loving, and be kind and compassionate to yourself and others. May you be covered by the wings of the Most High and his unfailing love, now and always. Amen. Love you all. Bye bye.